Hi and welcome to the Evian Championship. My name's Amanda Robertson and I am here with a very special guest today. 21 European Tour wins, 3 Ryder Cups, and now 2018 Ryder Cup captain. I'm here with Thomas Bjørn. How are you, Thomas?
I'm good, yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us today. We're going to kick it off and talk a little bit about your presence here in Evian at the championship and what it means to be here for the week.
Well, it's pretty cool. You know, it's I think when you come to these championships, when you grow up as a player and you play all over the world and you kind of get involved in your own career and doesn't really think about many other things, you know, you come to all these events. And I spend a lot of time at different events that I've never been at before. You realize how much that's going on in the golfing world and how cool an event this is. So it's pretty special.
Well, we're very excited you're here. Rolex is a huge part of women's golf, as we know, and we have the Rolex Annika Major Award. It's going to be a tight race this year. Talk a little bit about Rolex and their partnership with women's golf and what that means.
Well, I think Rolex, you know, you got to look at the overall package and what they do in golf. It's pretty cool. You know, you look at their involvement with the history of the game. You know, on the men's side with Jack and Arnie and Gary, but also on the women's side with Annika. You know, it really is their relationships with the tours, and that's the LPGA, it's the European Tour, it's the PGA Tour. They have such a great wide-reaching relationship with the game of golf, and they have a great understanding of that. It's about developing the game from within, and those relationships reach so far back, and they're great to be a part of. And I think you know, everybody that plays in the game owes a big thank you to Rolex for what they do, but it's also a mark of how great this game is to be such a iconic brand wants to be associated with this game. So it kind of goes hand in hand, which is always great.
Well, we're very excited to see who wins the Rama this year, and we look forward to kind of getting a little bit more in with Rolex. Can you talk about, so Frank has mentioned in press conferences this week that what makes a country a golf country is the fact that they have champions. So being from Denmark and being obviously a champion, can you talk about your journey, and was there one tournament that changed your career and kind of changed Denmark, or did it happen over time?
I think it's a bit of a combination of the two. You know, obviously, I think for any country, when you have that moment when somebody breaks onto the scene and does something that's a bit different than what you're used to, that kind of changes the outlook. And France is a country that really enjoys their sporting champions across sports, and you know, they long for that big champion either in the women's game or in the men's game that does win a major. It'll happen because their support system is so great. The French Federation is probably one of the strongest federations in the world of producing a lot of players. So it'll happen in time, and you know, it's very easy to go, well, that's the one thing that we need, so you're always longing for that, and that's what people talk about. But when you look at what France does, you know, they have a great women's major championship, they have a wonderful French Open on the men's side, but now bringing the Ryder Cup to France, which is pretty cool and pretty unique.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be a spectacular event, and it shows a lot of support from community and from government, and I think that will keep feeding into that. France will get their major champions going forward, and that would be pretty cool when that happens, because they do a lot for the game of golf, and they deserve to have those champions with them as well. Yeah,
well, and Evian does a lot for youth golf as well. There's so many events, so many things. Frank, once again, is such an advocate for growing the game and keeping the youth inspired. Talk a little bit about youth golf, and do you have any message to the youth of golf, like when you were young and you were dreaming of playing on tour?
Well, the game of golf got to look at certain things, and when young people come into the game, it's not about playing. They don't get in touch with the game by playing 18 holes of golf. They get in touch with the game of being on a driving range and with teaching professionals and in a group. And you got to make that group. You got to make that fun. You got to make that cool. You got to make that the part of, because that's where it all starts. And if you can make the first initial part fun and cool, well, then you have a chance of keeping people in the game. People talk about golf having its problem with it takes too long and it's 18 holes and 5 hours on a golf. Yeah, but people that spend 5 hours on a golf course and out, that they've been through those first few years of the initial reaction to the game. They're ready to take on that task. It's the initial part, I think, is the thing that you got to focus on. Boys need to think it's cool for girls to play golf, and vice versa, you know, and that's kind of where some of the problems arise. I think that golf needs to look at its reputation and how do you actually change the outside world's look on the game, and that's by getting people in and trying it, and getting that first hour and 2 hours to think, oh, well, this is actually fun. Most people that get to play golf and try it actually change their mind very quickly. You've got to change that perception at the entrance level, and that's I think is golfers' biggest issue at the moment.
Do you feel that you were introduced to golf in a cool fashion, or was it something that grew with time?
Yeah, but I grew up in an environment where I spent a lot of time at a golf club, and there was a big group of us. You know, so we became friends and close friends, and that became the thing that we did. And then it was okay in that social group. It was okay because everybody played golf, and then you know we had fun with that. And whatever there was, maybe some that thought, oh well, who wants to play golf? I want to play football. Yeah, but that's okay because football also is a great sport, and people should also play other sports. But we created an environment in the golf club where kids were having fun together, and it was a social group that became very acceptant of each other. And I think that's where all the things lie, that you can be part of a group where it's good fun and it's okay to do that sport.
Definitely. Well, we got to steal you this week for the Evian, but let's talk about Ryder Cup. You are the 2018 captain, and talk a little bit about the preparation and how it's going. And
yeah, it's good. You know, I'm very comfortable. People ask me, do you sleep at the moment? I actually do. You know, I'm very much believe in that I'm a person that stands behind the team and maybe not at the front of the team. You know, it's about those 12 guys, and it's their Ryder Cup. And you know, I do all my thinking and I do all my work, and then I go to bed at night knowing that I'm in a good place with it. And you know, I feel like my plans are in place. I feel like I'm comfortable where we are. Yeah, things over the next couple of weeks will change, and small things will move around. But the overall plan and the overall view of where I want to be, I'm pretty comfortable and cool with. So, yeah, I'm in place with it, and then you know it'll play itself out as we go through the next few weeks. But in general, it's pretty cool.
Well, you seem collected and calm, so we're thrilled to have you here this week. Thank you so much for your time. We are once again here at the Evian Champion with an awesome man, Thomas Bjørn. Look for him at the Ryder Cup as captain. Thanks so much. I'm Amanda Robertson.